So Irit, you are not alone, because you had Ronit and Iris, but I'm not alone. So surrounded by such women, of course. So first, I like, usually we finish with the thanks, so I want to thank you very much, Irit, for organizing it. And Ronit and Iris, and all the lecturers. So I don't want to say exactly unlike you, but my style of management is totally different. And I'm supported by the same people. First of all, Irit thought that she left the position, but you didn't leave.
I got arrested.
Yeah. So Irit is supporting me very much. Ronit increased her work with the organization and very helpful. We added 3 additional staffers. I'm speaking about Avur Mishai, the head of our Center for Combating Antisemitism by Legal Means. Ido Rosenzweig, that deal with our international organizations. And Avraham Tzur, that dealing with our social media, with all our fake news. So we are now a bit bigger organization, and also the members, especially from Israel. I want to thank all my deputies from Argentina, that Marcos, that help us to get access to the Pope. And Maurizio, he's still here? Yes. Okay.
Did not get any information to read.
Yeah, and Steve Greenwald from the US that could not come. Jacques Cohen is here? Okay. Anyhow, and of course, for my Israeli deputies, Daniel Reisner, that especially helped us with the case in the ICC. Pnina Sharvit Baruch, that is in charge of our international relationship with international institution, etc. A few remarks, and I don't want to say that I was disappointed from Dina Porat lecture, but I think that she missed a very important subject. She's a great historian, great historian, but then when she focused on statistics, she missed a lot. And she saw the number of violent anti-Semitic activities. So yes, there is raise because of certain reasons, but sometimes it's coincidental, the number of violent activities. What for sure we see, because of phenomena in Europe and the technological aspects, is raised in the anti-Semitism in Europe and the United States and in South America. We live here, we have our problems here, but what I speak, when I speak with people in Europe, not in scientific way, I see that people in Europe and now in the US feel less comfortable living the daily life. The daily life, you know, we saw the guide that the Jewish family was erased in the underground in London. That happens every day, and you saw also by the way the reaction of the father. Very cool. He reacted. This is not a severe, and that happens every day. It's happened also in the 80s and in the 90s. It's happened. The problem is that, but each event in itself, usually when it's not violent, it's not the end of the world. But the problem is that the total number of events make the daily life of people not comfortable. And that was missing in Dina Porat. We're talking about communities that living many hundreds of years. So they suffer in the Holocaust. Many left to Israel. We are very happy. But to be Jews in Europe, in many, many places, and now in the US, it become, first of all, people not safe, or people feel not safe, and people feel harassed, and we have to deal with this phenomena per se. Of course, we have to deal also taking into consideration that the next level is individual violent activities, and God forbid, the next stage is institutional by governments. So I tried to explain yesterday. I didn't want to intervene too much with Dina Porat, but I think that we have to deal with the anti-Semitic events in Europe. In the US, it's more challenging. Then they use the concept of freedom of speech. There is nothing freedom of speech to deal, and that's a big challenge. We also heard about Aliza. Where is Aliza? About how impossible it is to be a Jewish or Israeli a student that, proud or not proud, just that in U.S. universities and some universities in Europe, we saw that just a Jewish student in France, in medical school, in the periphery of France, that was not member of any organization, by the way. Just the student found that she is Jewish. They harassed her day by day, and then she left to another university. And that's things that happen. We are here in Israel. We have our problems, but we don't feel it. And I think that, again, as organization, we should deal more with the small cases, in brackets, as I mentioned yesterday when we started. Of course, we will not replace governments, and there might be that in certain positions the Israeli government should take also responsibility. The Israeli issues is the same. We know we are, the people here in Israel are divided more than ever. We have constitutional crisis. There are many people that are concerned about the level of democracy. I don't want to say lack of democracy here. Even Justice Rubinstein yesterday, he asked my permission to he's very, very modest on that, to say a few words that he wants with his. We have our issues here, but Israel is the only state of the Jewish people. We internally have many people. We have arguments against the government policies. Also, it's legitimate to have dispute arguments about the Israeli policies. But two things happening. The first is that when the arguments are so exaggerate, so disproportionate, and I'm not speaking about even the fake that this delegitimize de facto the state of Israel. I discussed it before with the European Commissioner and Ambassador here. I think, when European countries vote in the Human Rights Council in Europe, it's okay on specific. But if all the process of the Human Rights Council in Europe is not legitimate in our view, if the number of all decisions against Israel is disproportionate of what's happened on all over the world, then itself, I think, for instance, the EU should take a position, like the US, that this institution main goal is to delegitimize Israel, regardless of any specific decision. This is the issue. We have to see the picture, and we are very worried that about this process. I will not go again and again to what happened here. We as a organization will fight in these two, the classical antisemitism from right and left, and also take or to explain how, when to fight the people that criticize Israel out of context, or of course, in what we see as definition as that's I'm not speaking about European countries, that the euro de facto delegitimize the existence of the Jewish state. Thank you for all your coming, all your patience here. It was long day, and yesterday long evening, and we see you next year in our conference. And during the year, I call every one of you that want to support us, helping in the countries. Please do so, and see you next year, or the board members we convince you. Thank you very much. Bye.